President Trump announced that Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a peace deal.
Joining us now to explain what this means and what comes next, Fox 5 foreign policy expert Ron B. Ron, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
All right, let's start by talking about this peace deal. Phase one, how many phases are there following this?
Well, there are at least three, but what we know about is phase one at this point, and we don't know the contours of the other phases. If you take a look at the agreement that was announced on the 29th of September, there's 20 points to the plan, and that plan is the basic guideline. The most important thing for phase one will be the release of the hostages by Hamas, which are believed to be 48. 28 are dead, that we believe, and 20 are still alive. The first phase of the agreement hinges on that release of hostages. In exchange, Israel will exchange over 2,000 Hamas prisoners they have captured over the last 2 years during this conflict that started on October 7th, 2023.
The president told the families of the hostages that Monday. Why Monday? Obviously, it's no easy feat. It's very
the deal says within 72 hours after being announced, and so 72 hours falls within that timeline.
Ron, these peace deals are incredibly fragile, and we've seen over the years they get so close to being completed with these and say that we have a peace deal and there's a ceasefire, and then right at that very end something happens and it all falls apart. What's different this time?
Well, it appears that the Israelis have signed off on it, and that very key Arab states, including Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, and even Turkey, are there to help reinforce it with whatever is left of Hamas in Gaza. Israel has decimated its leadership there. The one question mark, of course, is also Iran, because Hamas happens to be a proxy of Iran, and there are others that have fired missiles into Israel during this conflict, including Hezbollah from Lebanon and the Houthis from Yemen, not to mention Iran itself. So it is incredibly fragile, but this is a glimmer of hope, and we will know whether or not this is really moving forward if there is a hostage release and an exchange of prisoners.
Will Israeli troops pull out of Gaza?
They said that they would agree to do so, and Netanyahu has agreed to some line of withdrawal. Your guess is as good as mine at this point where that line is, and I think it all hinges on the two goals that Israel has. Number one, get the hostages back. Number two, make sure that Hamas is not in government or will be governing Gaza anytime in the near future, in fact, forever.
And in the middle of this conflict, people there have suffered so incredibly much. The humanitarian need just dire with so many people needing basic necessities. Will there be an increase if this continues to influx the area with humanitarian aid?
Well, that is part of the 20-point agreement that the aid would immediately enter into Gaza from a variety of agencies coordinated by the United Nations. And of course, war is hell. This one has been particularly difficult because over 60,000 Palestinians have lost their lives. Remember, this started with the loss of Israeli life, women, children, civilians getting killed, raped, not to mention thousands of rockets landing on Israel. It's far time for this conflict to end, but the belligerents have to want it to end, and that's the key to this. Do the Israelis and the Palestinian people want to stop fighting? And what about others that have interest in the area? Do they want to see the fighting stop? And that's probably the biggest question mark.
And Ron, given your level of expertise, how do you think this agreement happened?
Well, I think it was it was an initiative, I believe, of President Trump. Of course, many others have been involved over the years in 5 or 6 peace agreements that have been suggested for Gaza, both Democrats and Republicans. But I think it's pretty clear that President Trump was key to making this deal happen.
Long term, the rebuilding, when you look at what's left of Gaza, it's been flattened, it's been decimated, as you said. Does this plan at all involve rebuilding and getting that area back up in some sort of livable region?
Yes, it does, and it involves massive investments, which will be required, tens of billions of dollars, and I'm guessing that would come from Arab countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and also international agencies, perhaps Europe, perhaps the United States will be involved. Certainly, Turkey has shown an interest in redevelopment as well. So it's part of the 20-point peace plan that there will be a redevelopment of Gaza. It's absolutely necessary to contribute towards the future of peace in the region.
Peace in the Middle East, we've been talking about it for years. I mean, have we really seen it? Will we really see it, you think, anytime in the near future?
Well, as I like to say, my heart is hopeful, but my head is somewhat skeptical, simply because I've been involved in this process for 40 years, and we do see steps forward with peace agreements with places like Egypt and Jordan, and in fact, those two places should be held out as standards for moving forward, I believe, in rebuilding Gaza and rebuilding a place where it's possible for future generations to think about peace rather than think about the last person who was killed in their families.
I think everybody wants this to work out. Time will tell. Foreign policy expert Ron B., we thank you.